What is going on, Thumbthumbs? This is Thumbbrother 2 bringing you guys week 11 of the LDL Season 7. Last week, you guys, we took on Blazing Squid and the Toronto Totodals. If you guys missed that, definitely take a look because that battle was absolutely wild. Very, very close. Very close for sure when it came down to it. But this week, you guys, we're going to be taking on Coach Brandon and the Moon Valley Mewtwo. You do see his awesome logo there. And Brandon is actually very exciting for me to battle. Like, I've been looking at his team. He has a very interesting team. He's sitting at 5-5 as of right now, so he's dead middle. I don't want him to end our win streak. I don't want and I don't want to be the one that gives him that positive record. So we're going to give it our best shot as always. If you guys are excited for this team builder and for LDL to be back on the channel, definitely leave a like down below. But let's go ahead and break down Brandon's team, kind of my thoughts and what I think he might be bringing. For the most part, Brandon is he's newer to Draft League format, and so he has brought a lot of the same things, that hasn't really like mixed things up a little bit. So start things off, he does have that Zygarde 50% form. Zygarde 50%, such a huge threat. Honestly, we do allow the usage of 1,000 arrows this season, so Dragon Dance 1,000 arrows is just like an obvious setup that he can have, and it's super just scary if he does get that set up. I only have a few answers to it, and if I allow my team to be worn down before that Zygarde before that Zygarde goes down, then I'm in a whole heap of trouble. Otherwise, having that Times 4 weakness to ice doesn't really scare me that much in the long run. So, I mean, it's literally 50%. Ironically, I'm a 50-50 of whether or not I should be scared of it or whether I shouldn't. All right, and then Breloom. Up next is Breloom. With Breloom, it's very interesting mon. Something really looked over. Definitely challenging to work with. I mean, he does get access to Mach Punch. He does get Spore. So with the Spore, it's always challenging for me to deal with Spore. We're able to get around it with Steven. However, I think my luck is starting to finally end this week. I don't know, there's just something in the air that's just changed. I think my RNG luck has run out, so Breloom's very challenging for me to deal with. I definitely need it out of the way if he does decide to bring it for the team that I have, specifically for one mon in particular. So yeah, I definitely need to watch out if that Breloom does come. Up next is Primarina. Primarina is actually probably one of the more scarier mons on his team, just for breaking through everything. Just an Assault Vest set or a Spec set, modest. Definitely just, it just hits so powerfully. So, yeah, like seriously, just Primarina is such an awesome mon. Squids use it efficiently against me. I'm really hoping that Brandon uses it effectively against me, but not so much so to where I lose. But Primarina is such a good mon. Right there, he has a really good starter for Dragon Fairy Steel Core. Then up next, he has Arcanine. Arcanine pairs wonderfully with Breloom and Primarina. Arcanine being able to get Intimidate, Flash Fire, and stuff. Can really be defensive or maybe physically offensive if he wants to, especially offensive. Assault Vest, Morning Sun, so many different things he could do. Will-O-Wisp, Toxic. I really do see a more bulkier set with Intimidate coming this week, just to really prevent what's his name, or what's her name, Mega Charizard Azula, from really setting up and causing a lot of mischief. There's a good Intimidate mon, or if he wants to go for Flash Fire, stop me from Flare Blitzing, there's that too. So very challenging, very challenging mon to get around. That and the Breloom, those two mons in particular are going to be the most challenging for me to get around if he does bring them for my team. There's two different mons that I can possibly win with this week, and in order for me to get around, to get the win this week, I do feel like I need to knock these mons out first. Up next is going to be the Archeops. Archeops is such a cool mon, dude. I love Archeops. It does get kind of overlooked with that defeatist ability. Once it's under 50%, its attack just drops dramatically, but without it, an acrobatics without an item just does so much. Also access to Earthquake, Rock Slide, and all that other stuff. So very scary mon to deal with. little bit more frail because of it. Bullet Punch and a Cell Rock really do handle it quite well as even an Aqua Jet from, ironically, Emma Frost, our Alolan Ninetales, which is something I did think about bringing this week. But still, very, very scary mon, can really hurt, but we do have the right bulk, I feel, on this team to take care of it. And last week with Blazing Squid and the Toronto Totodiles, we faced Moltres. This week we actually go up against Articuno. Articuno is such an interesting choice. Once again, times for weak to rocks, but in this case, very, very especially bulky. Such especially the bulky mon, like even things that are, it's super effective, I mean it's weak too, its special defense just allows it to live those hits, like Thunderbolts and Volt Switches from Rotom, even from Nidoking. Like this thing just eats up hits, so if it's like a fully specially defensive set, I mean it's gonna work for him, it really will. Also gets access to Hurricane like Moltres, which is really scary, but he does have to land them. Other things that he might want to go for, I have no idea. Just all in all, an okay mon. Definitely interesting that he does have it on his team. I don't believe he will bring it this week just because I do have too many answers on the physical side, with a Cell Rock being the primary thing. But other than that, you know, just a really interesting mon for him to have on his team. Then we get into the meat and bones of everything. He's got the Mega Sableye. Mega Sableye! Whew, such a good Pokemon. Really pairs nicely with the Primarina, if you ask me. And Primarina can just eat anything that, the only thing that Sableye is weak to, which is Fairy type, but it has that Magic Bounce, so it prevents me from getting up rocks if it does Mega Evolve, if he does bring it. Can actually get Will-O-Wisp, there's Curse sets, I think, there's Power Up Punch, Recover, Substitute sets. It's such an awesome mon to use. I've been wanting to use it myself for quite a while. Who knows, maybe I just might in the future, but Mega Sableye is very, very bulky, very, very scary. I'm more so hoping that he brings a specially defensive one. If he brings a special defensive set with like a Will-O-Wisp, I'd be really, really happy with that, or like a Calm Mind set. Max defense would even be better. But in the long run of things, it's just a very scary Pokemon that we have to hit hard and hit fast. Otherwise, it's just going to sit on the field and just slowly whittle our team down. Up next is Jirachi to round off his Fairy Dragon Silcoor. Once again, just a very difficult mon to... just a very strong, just difficult mon to get around, because he can run it Scarf, he can run it Banded, Specs, he can run it especially offensive, physically offensive, especially bulky, physically bulky, base 100 all around the board, just allows it to do whatever he wants it to. If he wants to, I do potentially see a more defensive set. I'm not sure as far as what side. I am thinking maybe a little bit more physically defensive with Stealth Rocks and U-Turn. Maybe even a Rocky Helmet, if I'm quite honest with you. It's just very, very scary to really be thinking, you know, what can Jirachi really do to me? Having Serene Grace as well, with Iron Head flinches and Heart Stamp as well. Pardon me. Could be very problematic in the long run. So, all in all, I do think it will be more defensively, a more defensive build this week. So, if that is the case, then I think I do have the right team to get around it for sure. That's kind of what I did plan for, and if it's offensively, then it's not that much of a problem, I feel, especially if it's Scarf, because then that way it's locked into one move. I have a lot of things that do resist it, that can hit it back, and so I'm not too, well, it's a scary mon, I'm not that scared of it, but because there's so many different things Jirachi can do, I gotta be on my toes. Then there's Galvantula. Galvantula is such a good bug type, such a good electric type, being able to get up Sticky Webs, Volt Switch out, Bug Buzz, Compound Eyes allowing it to run Thunder over Thunderbolt. I think it jumps it up to like maybe 91% accuracy or something like that. Such a, so interesting if you ask me. But Sticky Webs could be very problematic for me, which is why I kind of went with more of a bulkier type of set of... bulkier type of team this week, as you guys will see, because I believe I do have Defog on, or Rapid Spin on Amon, and if not, then I might have to rethink some things. But if Sticky Webs get up, then they're going to be there to stay. I'm going to be perfectly fine with that. Not too much needed as far as speed for me, except for maybe the Zygarde. But yeah, that's really the only thing I see Galvantula coming for if he does decide to lead it, so it's whatever. Up next is going to be Muck. Muck is very different from Alolan Muck just because it does have more weaknesses, and I don't feel it's as bulky, if I'm not mistaken, without that dark typing. So, I mean, if it does decide to come, it'll be kind of a thorn in my sides because I do have a tech that specifically requires Muck to not come, and with the way Brandon's been playing this season, I don't feel like he will bring it. So, if Muck comes, then I definitely have enough to deal with it. If it doesn't come, then it's going to be perfect. And last but not least is going to be Rhydon. Rhydon is a good Eviolite user. It gets access to Lightning Rod. Such a good ability to stop me from Volt switching out and stuff, but with my Rotom Wash, he does have to think twice on that, because if he does go for that, and I predict that and go for the Hydro Pump, just more of a problem for him. Gosh, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. So, very, very bulky, like I said. We gotta knock off that Eviolite or just hit it as hard as we can, as quick as we can. He could also be a Rock Polish Swords Dance set, being so bulky as he is, which could be a little bit problematic, I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like I won't be able to do too much if he does bring it, just because I do have such a reliable switch-in with Rotom. So, there's that, and then he's got the Dragonium Z. Dragonium Z is really cool. It does pair nicely with that Zygarde with the Outrage, so there's that, and then also Outrage on Arcanine if he does decide to bring it more offensive. Those are really the only two mons I really see using the Dragonium Z. I don't think anything else. Oh no, Jirachi also gets a Dragon Move or so, I think. So we'll have to be very, very careful with what we use, what we send out. Just that has to be in the back of our mind that those three mons are the main ones that do get Dragon Moves, if the only ones that do get Dragon Moves on his team. But as far as his team, like I said, he's brought a lot of the same thing. I definitely see, 9 times out of 10 that he's going to bring Zygarde, Jirachi, Primarina. His Fairy Type and Silkwood is very nice. The Arcanine, the Mega Sableye, and potentially the Rhydon. The Rhydon could be swapped out for Breloom, and if that's the case, it's a bit more problem for us, because both Breloom and Arcanine are there, which prevents us from really sweeping this week. But other than that, Archeops, I just don't feel like makes much sense. Articuno definitely doesn't. Muck for sure doesn't. Galvantula, if he wants to bring webs instead of more bulk or more attack, I can see that. The Mega Sableye, I mean, it could be swapped out for pretty much anything, maybe the Primarina. But if he doesn't bring the Primarina, I feel like that's a big misplay on his part. Let's go ahead and jump into our team. And kind of go over what I think he's going to be bringing and stuff. So, first up, you guys, it's like, well, if he's going to bring sticky webs, potentially, I got to make sure that I have the right bulk. So, I went ahead and we're going to be bringing around Alolan Ninetales, Emma Frost, with the Holding the Light Clay, of course, with Snow Warning, Get Up Their Hail, have the Aurora Veil there. Very, very standard set, if you ask me. Very standard. Timid, 252 speed special attack, because we are right in between the Archeops and the Galvantula with speed. I'm serious, right dead in between. Galvantula's 108, Archeops is 110, so it's like the perfect speed tier for us just to hit perfectly. Aurora Veil for 8 turns. There's Toxic for some bulkier mons like Arcanine if it wants to swap in, or even the Rhydon, which is really nice. Freeze Dry, I believe 2 shots at 252 HP. Non-assault vest Primarina, which is nice, so even if there's a swap in there, he won't be able to really stay in. Moonblast 2 shots, a lot of different versions of Mega Sableye, so very, very, very standard, very, very standard. But all in all, Aurora Veil is really nice for us because it's kind of a mixture of some of the teams I've brought in the past with getting Aurora Veil up a setup, which you guys will see. But for sure, that doesn't mean that Alolan Ninetales, Emma Frost, won't be able to get off a couple good hits herself. Up next is going to be Charlemagne, our Nidoking, coming back with the Life Orb, Sheer Force set. We have enough speed there to outspeed, I believe, a max speed, where was it? I think it was a max speed Breloom? Yeah. Max speed Breloom, so a little bit of HP there. Max special attack, modest nature, which is really nice, so we're going to be hitting as hard as we can. Sludge Wave Earth Power is just necessary. Awesome dual stab, hits a lot of different things. We one-shot the Primarina, we one-shot the Jirachi for many different variants. We one-shot the Galvantula, I believe, and then I threw Ice Beam on there just for general coverage with like the Zygarde if possible, and the Rhydon. I felt like it was just something that I needed. The fourth moveset was just like really open there, and then I'm bringing Toxic Spikes. Toxic Spikes is the reason why I don't want Monk to come. Toxic Spikes just will help wear down his team to enough percentage to where I can come in and sweep afterwards. So I might end up just leading with this thing, which is going to be really nice. We're guaranteed to live. We're guaranteed to live 1 Hidden Power Ice from Galvantula. So getting up Toxic Spikes is really nice for sure. And like Amerfrost, it's more tech savvy this week, and with the Toxic Spikes, that's really why I brought it. But you know, it can still definitely put in the work, especially with Modest Life Orb. It can definitely be my answer to deal with the Breloom. So really looking forward to using it. And hey, last time I brought Nidoking as more as a Tech Mon, we got the 6-0 sweep, so there's that going for it too. Up next is going to be Scrub-a-Dub, our Rotom Wash Scrub-a-Dub. Very ranged set here. We have max defense, a little bit over half HP if I'm not mistaken, some special defense, and enough speed in it to outspeed. I believe it was going to be a Min Speed Primarina. Yeah, I think it was a Min Speed Primarina. I think that's what I specifically did it for. Holding the leftovers, of course. We got Hydro Pump, Volt Switch to get some swaps out. We got Pain Split. We have a lot of bulk on it, like I said, physically defensive bulks, where we could really even take a hit from Zygarde if we wanted to with 1,000 arrows. Will-O-Wisp it, Pain Split it. Will-O-Wisp is going to be so nice. Ugh. In the long run for stuff like the Breloom, for the Jirachi, for the Zygarde for sure, if we're able to do that. The Archeops, like a lot of different things don't want to deal with the Will-O-Wisp. And being able to get Volt Switches off will just give me good initiative. So yeah, very nice set, very standard bulky set, so I'm really happy with it. Then, thank you, by the way, for, once again, Lazy Ghost, Marty, aka Arthur, for helping me build. He gave me a couple of set ideas, for this week, specifically the Nidoking set, and then on top of that, thank you to Matt for this upcoming one. I was kind of trying to show some people some sets and be like, hey, I'm having trouble figuring out, you know, who should I bring, and then Matt brought up a really good point with the team that I had, did not have this mon on it. And it was a really reliable switch in for the Breloom. And so we're going to be bringing Davy Jones, our Delmise, which I really like. We resist or are immune to both of his main stabs. We don't get hit by spores. So I'm like, that's really cool. Thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate this. So shout out to Matt, coach of the Winnipeg Jello Sandwich, who we will be playing very soon. So, yeah, so here's Delmise, Davy Jones, Assault Vest set, of course. Just a lot of good, awesome bulk on it. It's very, well, it's mainly going to be there for the, it's mainly there, of course, to deal with the Breloom, like I said, but the Assault Vest also just helps in the long run, especially with like Primarina and stuff. We can go ahead and turn around and one-shot it if we need to with Power Whip. Anchor Shot is also a good middle ground play to hit a lot of different things besides the Arcanine. Knockoff will help with getting rid of a lot of items, and I put Earthquake on there because I know the Arcanine, if it does come, I'm almost 100% guaranteed it will come. Arcanine being a max HP Adamant 252 attack set. After the Intimidate, we can still two-shot with Earthquake, which I really like. So if I see that potential switch in once again, if Brandon's a little bit predictable, I can get the Earthquake off, hit this Arcanine for a huge hit, and make him double second guess sending in that Arcanine once again against me. I really like it. It hits a whole bunch of stuff on his team. So I really like having Davy Jones this week. Thank you again, Matt, for the set suggestion. And then up next, of course, making its return from last week. It's the exact same Big Mama set that we brought last week, you guys. Figgy Berry, Gluttony, Curse, Recycle Facade, Earthquake. This thing hits so many things so hard. It's incredible. The big thing, like I said, Breloom Breloom and my Arcanine are really the ones stopping me from setting up in front of so many different things to get the win off. Breloom, of course, with Mach Punch. Arcanine if it's offensive with close combat, but I think I need roughly about 2 to 3, I believe it's 3 curses to guarantee 2 shots on everything. This includes like bulky Jirachi, bulky physically defensive, like a Sableye, I think. So if he wants to go ahead and Toxic me or Burn Me. Then we got Facade, which will be hitting a lot harder for a couple things. So I really like this a lot. This is such an awesome set. And I'm hoping that I can use it as efficiently as I did last week against Blazing Squid. So here's looking at that. This is, like I said, it's the exact same set that we brought last week. And last but not least, our main sweeper for this week, brought back once again. Snorlax and this next one are going to be teaming up. The setup pair with Ferrari, our Scizor. A very fun set. So Scizor is a Lumberry Swords Dance set this week, which I love. I love this thing so much. It looks just like the perfect set to bring, especially with things like Will-O-Wisp from the Mega Sableye, Will-O-Wisp from the Arcanine, Spore from the what's it called, Breloom. So I really like it. Lumberry will kick in. We're guaranteed at least one Swords Dance off in those situations. Bullet Punch knockoff really decimate his team. So Tailwind just in case I need it, especially with the what's it called? The Sticky Webs do go up. But yeah, definitely Snorlax and Scizor can clean up this game if the right plays are made. Once again, Arcanine and Breloom are two of the main things that stand in our way. But if we're able to get set up with either one, then I think the game is ours. So that's our team for this week, you guys. Definitely let me know down below what you think about the team, what you think I could have brought, what sets I could have changed or stuff. And hopefully the battle against Brandon should be going down tonight. So I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Thumbbrother 2, and I'll see you in the next one.